Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB, and download the app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You won't regret it. It has everything you need to build your winning lineups, chat rooms, optimizers, value tools, stack tools, you name it, they've got it. So go download the app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You can find myself on Twitter at BDendrick, and my co-host is always on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how we doing on this wonderful Tuesday morning?
Yeah, I'm ready to flush Monday down the toilet. So Blake Snell was horrible. Not horrible, but he wasn't great. There are many better options than him. So he upset me tremendously. Montas wasn't as good as I thought he was going to be. Kikuchi's solid. But
Montas struck out 11, though, so he came through.
Yeah, he did. I just, it's like I feel like it was one of those days. I've been pretty good recently, and this one is like, hey, here's your humble day. Here you go. So one of those. So let's flush this Monday right down the toilet and go to Tuesday. Let's do that.
Yeah, we didn't take a Gomber today, so that was good. Gomber got it done. It wasn't. He did. It wasn't. We got reverse Gombered, so that was good. But yeah, it was interesting to say the least. A lot of blowups late, rainouts and bullpens and fun stuff there. Overall,
Rays going 11 runs late. I mean,
in extras. It's almost like this new extra inning rule starting to feel like it's a college overtime where you start from like the 20 or like the 25 or whatever. And we're like, yeah, we're just going to see how many points we can put up now in the overtime. So
I actually like that for watching, but not for fantasy.
Yeah, because it's totally like imagine if you're a person that bets unders. That would be so much fun.
Life is too short to bet the under, but
that is true.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, people that bet the under are also the ones that bet the sevens. Craps at the craps table. So horrible people, but they exist. But yeah, let's get at it with 13 games. We got a big slate on tap. Lots of ways to go on this slate. So I'm very excited about it. Good pitching options, good hitting options. The depth is insane at certain positions. You can get weird if you want. Yeah. It's really, really fun. So let's start things off with the first game of the night, Cincinnati Reds at the Washington Nationals. We have Tyler Mahle versus Max Scherzer, over under 7.5 on this one. You got Mahle's 88 on DK, 75 on FanDuel. Scherzer 10-7 on DK, 11,000 on FanDuel. Mahle coming off a rough one against the offensive juggernaut known as the San Francisco Giants. And then you got Max Scherzer doing Max Scherzer things. So what pitchers you like here?
I like Scherzer. I'm not. Mahle let us down pretty bad last time. I believe he wasn't this like on the double short slate.
Yes,
the
4 games straight. Yeah.
And he just completely let us down. Seven earned over 2 innings. So I'm gonna pass on Mahle, but Scherzer's been solid. In his last 4 starts, he's allowed 1 run or fewer. Only went 5 innings the last 2 times out, but even those 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts. So, Scherzer is still in play as always.
Yeah, he's in play. There's a lot of cheaper options I like on this slate, but Scherzer's definitely in play because if he runs hot, there's not many guys with a higher ceiling than Max Scherzer. So
right,
definitely keep him circled. Mahle's weird because I don't want to use him in this slate because I think the Nats offense is really starting to click with Schwarber and company. At the same time, I'm not looking to stack against Tyler Mahle. So do you like any bats in this game?
Yeah, there's a couple bats here. I mean, like you said, the Washington's been hot. So guys like Zimmerman, Bell, Harrison, Soto. Obviously Soto is expensive, so you can go that way if you want. I mean, if you want to stick with Jesse Winker, who's hitting homers, our boy Max will give them up.
Yes, he will.
He's a strong play, but he's expensive now, 54 and 38. Castellanos expensive as always. Little PVB data here. Schwarber is 5 for 16 in his career off of Mahle with 2 bombs. That's a 312 average. 3 for 11 for Barnhart with a double. So if he's in there, he might be a good option. But those are the bats I like for this one.
It wasn't so long ago that Schwarber was in the low 3Ks. Now he's $4,800 on DK. Fun times, fun times. Let's head to the Bronx. Toronto Blue Jays, New York Yankees, Steven Matz, Corey Kluber, over under 9 on this one. And as we're talking, the odds are changing. This is fun. My screen was flashing right now. That was great. Over under of 9 in this one. You have Matt 68 on DK, 73 on FanDuel, Kluber 84 on DK, 81 on FanDuel. Coming off the no Bogman. My philosophy stays in play here because you got a red hot Toronto team. Do you like any bats in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like either pitcher. So, yeah, let's go bats here. Let's go, both sides. I like Simeon has been hot. Vlad Jr. went yard twice on, was it only twice today? So
yeah, 15 on the season so far. 15. I mean, not even 2 months into the season yet.
The second one I saw live, and it was monstrous, and the first one was even bigger. So,
yeah, that's what she
said. That's what she said. Randall Grichuk at 43. I love Gurriel at 3,021. Glaber is starting to pick it up, and he's still cheap at 37.27. Judge is in there. A little PVB here. LeMahieu 6 for 10 in his career off mats with 2 doubles, 3 for 6 for Andujar with 2 doubles and a bomb. So if he's in the lineup at 28 and 22, I would like to get him in there as well.
I love the Gleyber Torres value at 37 on DK and only 27 on FanDuel. He's really starting to pick it up since he came out the COVID IL, even throwing some power into the mix. And then you mentioned Lourdes Gurriel. He's been hitting a lot lately, but the power's been gone. He went deep on Monday, so maybe things are warming up for him as it warms up around the country. We'll see. But some good value in a game that should over under of 9. I think this is a good game to go over in this one. And also Simeon's expensive, but he's taken Kluber deep a couple times as well. So I like a Toronto stack to be contrarian because people I think might go back to the Klubot off the no, and we can have some fun with that one. Colorado at the New York Mets. We get the return of Jacob Degrom. No total in this game as we got 2 guys coming back from rehab starts. Degrom's 11-8 on DK, 12,000 on FanDuel. He was electric in his first rehab outing, his only rehab outing. And then Colorado's calling up Kyle Freeland after 2 rehab starts. He's 53 on DK, not available on FanDuel. Either of these pitchers in play for you tonight?
Well, I think DeGrom is always in play. I think in a bigger slate like this, I probably don't want to go with the guy coming off of the IL. So I don't know how I'll have at least one DeGrom somewhere, but probably not too much just because there's other cheaper options that I like.
Yeah, my only concern with DeGrom is I think to let him go because they're the Mets and they don't care about their health issues. But he only went 3 innings, faced 10 batters. So he didn't sure he showed he was healthy, but he didn't go deep type thing. And it's not like he's had a big layoff, so it's not like he can't go 100 pitches. But just that speculation, anything can happen. If we know he's full go, then this is an electric spot, obviously. I'll take him in a heartbeat, but that's still a question mark to pay attention to as news comes out. I will ask you, Bogman, and there's a lot of cheap pitchers I like on this slate. Kyle Freeland against this Mets offense, which is dreadful. Kyle Freeland just threw 6 innings of 1 run, 4 strikeouts in his last rehab appearance. It's Kyle Freeland. I'm going to say it again, Kyle Freeland, but the Mets offense is just absolutely atrocious right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a no from me, dog. That was my thought process for Snell, and he was terrible today. So I know I'm still angry about it, and I should get over it. It's DFS. I should throw it in the trash. But for some reason, I'm hanging on to it today. I sent you a fairly nasty text about Snell today.
It was fun. I was eating dinner. It was very, very, very appropriate. I can look at my phone and go, oh, yeah, poop emoji. Yeah,
that's true. Right. Yeah. So, it's just, I'm going to pass on Freeland. Yeah. So no way.
It'll be interesting. I want to see what lineup the Mets throw out there because Gomber got him. We'll see what Freeland can do. Any bats you like in this game? Because for me, it's kind of just a pass on the bats.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little PVB data here. VR is 5 for 6 against Freeland with a double and a homer. So he's a decent option. Peraza is 6 for 10 against him with 2 triples and a homer. Tapia, 2 for 7 against DeGrom with a homer. But, I mean, like you said, the hot bats, there's only been a couple on Colorado's side in Blackman, Cron, and Fuentes. But against DeGrom, nah. So VR is probably the one guy I like here.
All right, let's head to Boston. Atlanta Braves, Boston Red Sox, Charlie Morton, Garrett Richards, over under of 9.5. We don't see many go over 9 outside of Coors and Coors South. So 9.5 in this one. Morton 79 on DK, 7,000 on FanDuel. Richards 75 and 83. I'll be passing on the pitching, Bogman, and I really like some bats in this game. What about you?
Yeah, I kind of like both pitchers, but not here. So, Morton finally got on the board with a quality start. Richards has been better than advertised, but Not in this game. Like you said, the over's too high. This is bat central. There's a lot of PVB data here too. Bogart's 10 for 29 against Morton in his career, 3 doubles and a bomb. JD Martinez 9 for 26 against him, 2 doubles. 6 for 23 for Rafael Devers with 2 doubles. And then there's been hot bats on both sides, mainly Atlanta. They weren't hitting for so long, and now all of a sudden they're going ham here. Riley, Swanson, Albies, Freeman, Acuna are all hot. Kike Hernandez on the Boston side. So I would stick with bats in this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's supposed to be mid-70s and wind blowing out to center about 14 or 15 miles an hour, so that should help as well. But I love the Austin Riley price tag. I'm going to keep riding him while he's cheap. Albie's a little pricier, but he's almost just as hot as Riley, almost. Swanson's heating up. There's lots of ways to go without going Freeman's almost the most disappointing big name they have right now, which is crazy to think of because he'll wake up in no time. But yeah, lots to like on both sides of this game. This could be a definite game stack if you want to get there. And there's plenty of cheap pitching to make it happen. Do not worry about that one as people get to some dandies on this slate. Next game here, Kansas City Royals at the Tampa Bay Rays. Brad Keller, Rich Hill over under 8.5. We have Keller 57 and 69, respectively. Rich Hill 85 and 82, respectively. I'm going to pass on the pitching again on this one, Bogman. Do you have any interest in either of these two?
I have a little interest in old Dick Mountain here. He's been pretty solid.
Coming off some nice starts lately.
3 quality starts in a row. K per 9 is nice at 9.2. Walk per 9, not so much at 3.48. So I like him a little bit. The price is nice too. I'm not really interested in Keller, even though the price is super cheap. And I have 5 1/3, 4 strikeouts, 3 earned last time out. Not horrible, but Rich Hill is going to go in a couple of my lineups. But Carlos Santana, PVB data here, 4 for 11, 2 doubles against Hill. Yandy Diaz against Keller, 3 for 8. And then there's been some hot bats on this Kansas City side. Michael Taylor is hot and cheap, 25, 26. Benintendi, 31 and 25. Nice cheap option 2 on the Tampa Bay side. Rosarena, Lowe, and Meadows, all expensive, but all have been hitting as well. So those are the bats I like here.
Yeah, I really wish the Rays would not have gone off on Monday because I love attacking Brad Keller. I think most people have still seen that as an option, but it'll be a lot more noticeable now with everything that's going on. But I love a Rosarena. The usual suspects, Meadows, as you mentioned. Joey Wendell's hitting everything. He's still not super, super expensive. And if you want a cheapie, I'm just going to throw it out there while he's still cheap. Taylor Walls, he's $2,200. He's a second base shortstop. He's 22 on DK. He's the bare minimum on FanDuel. And he's been quite productive in his first 3 games, either walking or getting hits and scoring runs. So that's one way to get a cheap piece of Tampa Bay, especially in cash games if you're going that route. So I definitely like the Tampa Bay stack, one of my favorite stacks on tonight's slate. Cleveland at Detroit in this one. Aaron Savale against Tariq Skubal, over under of 9. Another nice high total on this ball game. We got Savale sitting at 83 on DK, 8,000 on FanDuel. Skubal 55 and 66. You can make arguments for both pitchers, actually. I think I prefer Savale in this matchup against the Detroit offense, but I could listen to a Skubal argument against this Cleveland offense as well.
I'm with you. Yeah, I like that we've been simpatico on some of these pitchers recently. The only big disagreement was you were smart and said no Snell, and I said Snell yesterday. So, but yeah, I like Savale here specifically. A little more expensive, obviously, but he 2 out of his last 3 have been quality. The strikeouts aren't crazy high, but his highest total was in his last start when he had 8 against the Angels with only 1 walk and 2 earned. So I kind of like what I'm seeing out of Savale here. And because of that, there's not a lot of bats that I want. There's a little PVB data here. Mazzara against Savale is 3 for 9 with a bomb, 4 for 13 for Victor Reyes with a double and a triple. Jose Ramirez is 3 for 6 with a double against Skubal. But the rest of these bats, even the guys that have been hot, don't elicit a ton of confidence. I mean, are we sure that Eric Haas and Castro are going to be in the lineup, right? Ahmed Rosario, Harold Ramirez, and Cesar Hernandez. Cesar Hernandez is a nice price at 39 and 29, but that's probably it as far as bats I like in this game.
Yeah, it's just one of those games that with such a large slate, I'm not going to try to predict the moon in this one because these two teams are just, you got to be perfect because they're such volatile messes. This is the best way I can say it. So, yeah, I'm going to pass on this one. If you want to go pitching, they're both in play for me. I prefer Savale as well, but I could definitely see a value Skubal play as an SP2 if you need to. San Diego Padres at the Milwaukee Brewers. Joe Musgrove, Corbin Burns, pitchers duel. Over under of 7 in this one. This is a juicy one. You got Musgrove 95 on DK, 84 on FanDuel, but Burns is only 91 on DK, but 10-2 on FanDuel. Very interesting price discrepancies between the two sites. It makes Musgrove way more attractive to me on FanDuel and Burns way more attractive to me on DraftKings. But what's your thoughts here?
I'm with you. Take the cheap option out of both of them. And like you said, for DK, that's Burns. For FanDuel, it's Musgrove. So I'm right. We're simpatico again in this one. I mean, Musgrove the last couple times out, 7 innings, 11 strikeouts last time out. Of course, Corbin Burns, his K per 9 is almost 15.
It's right ridiculous.
14.95. His walk per 9 is 0.45 because he has 2 walks on the year. So
he's slacker.
Yeah, he's been incredible. So I because I like both sides, really don't want any bats. I mean, Keston Hiura just got called up and he's super cheap. He was raking at AAA, by the way. 3,000, 2,000. He's 4 for 11 with a double and a homer in his career against Musgrove. Yelich, who's back up off the IL, 5 for 16 against Musgrove with a double, a triple, and a homer. So 3 of his 5 hits have gone for extra bases. But, it's the usual suspects as far as other bats if you're not playing the pitcher side, as far as Tatis, Wong. Outside of that, there's cheap options, but I don't want to play many bats here.
Yeah, it's pretty much the pitchers only for me, just like we talked about. An exception of like with Monday, we talked about if the chalk is there, be contrarian. Well, Snell was the chalky pitcher on DraftKings at least. So the Milwaukee stack was contrarian and actually worked. Does it work every night? No. But if Musgrove's chalky, Burns, it's still tough for me to say go San Diego. Because he doesn't give up a ton of damage. You have to get it on the bullpen. But Musgrove we've seen be very volatile and have some iffy outings. And that's where like a Yelich, like a Wong, a Hiura, a Vogelbach, stuff like that gets interesting in a tournament. So keep an eye on ownership that comes out usually midday and a second run, a little closer to lock. Talked about on the LineStar app in the LineStar chat. You should download it in Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You won't regret it. Baltimore at Minnesota on this one. We have no total yet because that game just actually wrapped up about an hour ago. We got Dean Kramer versus Jose Barrios. Kramer 6K and 62 on DK. Barrios 9K and 8K DK and FanDuel. I guess Barrios is in play, but I'm just kind of passing on the pitchers in this one.
Me too. Yeah, this is one where I like Barrios, but there's guys in his price range I'd much rather have.
Burns $100 more, like on DK at least.
Just do that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I love Barrios, but yeah, it's more about the bats in this game, and there's a little PVB data here, not much at all, but Galvis 2 for 5 against Barrios with a bomb. Same thing for Mancini, 2 for 5. Against Barrios with a bomb. Anthony Santander, you called out yesterday. He's 3,000 on both. Stevie Wilkerson's 27 and 2,100. Miguel Sano, who's been hot, isn't crazy expensive. He's pricey, 43 and 28. Nelson Cruz has been out, so Rob Refsnyder's getting in there, 23 and 22. And Mitch Garver at 47 and 24 has been decently hot as well. So those are the bats I like here.
Yeah, a couple more on Minnesota. Like you mentioned, Refsnyder is a nice cheap option, but Kirilloff's 4K against Kramer. Big fan of that. I was looking at numbers earlier because I like Sano too, but Kirilloff's first base outfield. Kramer's given up 5 homers to both sides this year. He's averaging 2.3 homers per 9 to righties, 3.2 to lefties. So the Minnesota Twins are very, very live in this one. That's why I think you can go Sano. You have Kirilloff at 4K, and Trevor Larnach is 2,700, and he went deep again on Monday as well.
Yeah.
So you can have some fun there. And then Santander, I'm just going to keep playing him while he's cheap. He didn't go deep for me, but he had 2 doubles, scored a run, drove in a run, I think. He got you plenty of points. So I'm not worried about that one. We'll keep trucking him as he's cheap because he's too darn good to be that cheap. So Baltimore's always a sneaky or intriguing stack for me, and I'll probably find a little action there. Like a lot of times I just did Mullins and Santander together. Both got double-digit points. We walked away. And everyone's happy.
Where's your Orioles hat, by the way? I
should have one. I really should. I'm a Wire fan.
Get on Danny Shore, gets crab cakes.
I almost bought the RotoWare shirt. Did you see the Cedric Mullins one where he's dressed up like what's his name from The Wire? Oh, why am I skipping my chalky?
No, The Wire is a show that I have not.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
It's one of the few that I have not seen. I've been chastised by many people. I went out. I was at dinner with a couple of my buddies, and they're like, "You haven't seen The Wire? Come on, man, you got to watch it." I'm like,
Hey,
"Yeah, I don't know."
I'll be honest. I didn't see it live. I watched it like 2 years ago. I binge watched it all.
Yeah.
So I'm guilty of it too. But I'm totally blanking on his name. He played Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh yeah. I know.
But
I know
it's a great shirt. Like people, it's awesome. So everyone go check it out. A few more games to go here on this Tuesday night slate. St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago White Sox. Jack Flaherty, Lucas Giolito over under 8. Like I just want to sit and watch this game personally. 2 reasons. Yeah. These guys are high school friends. Like I've heard them on interviews on podcasts together, like really close friends. So this is going to be fun just for the looks at each other and trash talking. But Flaherty's 9,300 on DK, 10.5 on FanDuel. Giolito's 87 and 85 respectively. And Giolito's coming off a gem of a start this last time out. I kind of like Gio just because he's cheaper than Flaherty. Flaherty's been great, but I kind of want to keep going to Gio and see if he's figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, Flaherty's had 6 straight quality starts.
He's outstanding.
So he has been incredible. But I think I'm with you here. Just he's had the blow-ups. We know that. I mean, gave up 7 at one point. Just 2 starts ago against the Royals, he gave up 5 in 6 innings. So he's had some blow-ups. But I think I like Giolito too. Pretty much, there is no, quality PVB data here at all. A lot of these bats have been hot on both sides, though. On the Cardinal side, Goldie has been picking it up. Carlson, Tommy Edman, Mundo Sosa, and then Grandal, Madrigal, Moncada, and Mercedes have been picking it up for Chicago. So I think I'm no hitters in either side of the pitching here.
That's where I lean right now. The one thing I can already kind of see coming, there's a good chance Giolito's chalky. So get a St. Louis stack and play for you. Because I can see the price is just too cheap. I know he's been up and down this year, but we saw the ace type pitcher last time out. He should at least be in like the Corbin Burns Flaherty. Like he should be $500 to $1,000 more. Like he should be up there a little bit. Make you think about it. Where right now it's just kind of like, here's the bait. That's where it's at. So yeah. LA Dodgers, Houston Astros, another game I'm going to watch with the volume on and hopefully no announcers because that's going to be a fun one. Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, over under 8 in this one. You all know my feelings on Greinke. He's 82 on DK, 77 on FanDuel. Kershaw's only $8,000 on DK. He's $10,000 on FanDuel. Much different there. But my goodness, $8,000 on DK, Bogman.
Yeah, the problem is that both sides of the lineup here, the LA side and the Houston side, have been hot too. I mean, just some hot bats on the LA side. Muncy, Luck, Smith, and Taylor have all been hitting. Taylor's a decent price right now. Pujols has been hitting and has a pretty good career against Greinke, 14 for 46, 6 doubles and a bomb. Turner is 11 for 33 against Greinke with 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 homers. Altuve against Kershaw is 6 for 15 with 4 doubles. Who knows how many trash cans were involved in that. Tucker, Gurriel, Brantley, Bregman, and Correa have all been hitting as well. They're all expensive, but I think I like Kershaw, obviously. Greinke is affordable today, and he's coming off a really good start. But I think I'm not going to buy in on pitching here. I think I'd rather go with Giolito or Flaherty. I'd rather go with Musgrove or Burns. I think I'm going to steer clear of the pitchers here just because I'm afraid of the lineups.
That's very, very fair because the lineups are good. And, next week we might not say Greinke's affordable. He's more fraudable. But, yeah, one of those areas. Sorry for the dad joke, but here we are. Kershaw at $8,000. What I will say, because, yes, the Astros offense is terrifying, especially against left-handed pitching. In tournaments, he's one of my favorite pitchers as an SP2. I just love the risk-reward factor with Kershaw on this one. It's a lot of risk, though, so keep that in mind. And if I have to pick one team, I want to stack the snot out of the Dodgers in this one. I really, really like a Dodgers stack, or at least get like a small thing going. Like Gavin Lux is so super cheap. Mix in a couple of players and see where it goes. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen on Tuesday, but nothing would shock me because Bellinger, I think, has played already 2 rehab games. He's coming up any moment now. So that's one of those. We saw so many guys. Like the A's game was at 7 Pacific, and it's like at 5:30 that, hey, Ty France is off the IL. Well, that's great to know after everything locks, but it's like we might get some late news on a Bellinger, and that'd be electric in this game. All right, couple more to go here. Texas Rangers at the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. You got Hyunjiang versus Andrew Heaney, over under 8.5 in this one. Yang is 49 on DK, 6,000 on FanDuel. Heaney 62 and 76. It's all bats for me, Bogman.
I'm gonna give a little love to Andrew Heaney because he's not our favorite and he wasn't good his last time out either. 3 innings pitched, 2 walks, 1 strikeout was rough, but he has every once in a while, like against Tampa Bay, where he'll throw out a quality one with a ton of strikeouts. And I think this might be one. You've mentioned, I think, how rough Texas is against left-handed pitching. So I'm going to give a little love to Heaney here and say he's okay as a SP2 in DK or a tournament play. If you want to be different, Heaney is okay.
That's fair. For me, though, all I care about in this game, and you could do all kinds, you could stack if you want, you could attack Yang if you want. I get it all. Adolis Garcia has somehow got his price declined over the weekend, where he just continued to hit home runs. So $3,400 on DK, 34 on FanDuel's somewhat respectable. 34 on DK is just criminal, so that'll be in a lot of lineups. But the floor is back to you.
Yeah, I mean, there's some PVB data here against Heaney too. IKF is 4 for 16 with a double, 5 for 12 for Solak with a double, and 4 for 8 for Willie Calhoun with a bomb. But for me, it's more Angels bat since I kind of like Heaney. It's Iglesias at 4,700. Otani's always in play. Walsh 48.37. Lagares 35 and 2,000. So those are the guys that I like in this game.
The other Angel I'll mention, if you're stacking things up, Taylor Ward has been playing a lot in the outfield. He's got a little bit of pop as well. So another guy you could circle the battleships with if you so choose. 2 more games to go here. We don't have a total on this one. The San Francisco Giants at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Bogman and I might not be able to talk for a couple days, but it's going to be fun.
I mean, I fully expect to get swept. So
yeah, I'm glad we got ahead of this one now.
So
we got ahead of this now. But we want to talk about bad pricing. Gausman is $7,200 on DraftKings. He's 10-8 on FanDuel. Totally fair with that. $7,200 on DK. I'll play him everywhere. Martin's $5,200 on DK, not priced on FanDuel. So am I crazy for saying all the Kevin Gausman?
No, Kevin Gausman's probably the best value pitcher on the slate.
Yes, so it's ridiculous. $7,200.
I'm absolutely with you. Even with Carson Kelly coming back, the Diamondbacks getting a little healthier. Marte's back too. I'm just Gausman. He has 6 quality starts in a row. So he's been incredible. You even mentioned on the radio show that we did this weekend that, Gausman, if you wanted to throw a dart on him for a prop bet for Cy Young, the payout would be gigantic. And he is just on cruise control right now. Yep. So, Corbin Martin wasn't bad in his first start. He did have 4 walks over 5 innings, but he also struck out 6, only gave up 3. And that was against the Dodgers in LA. So not bad for him, but it's all Gausman here, know. And I'm not really interested in either side of the bats here. David Peralta has a decent history against Gausman, 4 for 11 with a double. But, I mean, after that, Crawford's been hot, but he's getting priced up now. Eduardo Escobar is hot, but he's priced up. Josh Rojas isn't bad at 35 and 27, but if I'm playing Gausman, I don't want him. So I don't really want anyone in San Francisco. Do you want any of the bats?
I'm stacking the Giants. I love a Giant stack here. I know Posey's expensive, but he is crushing things. After days off, he's even better. Like we had the day off on Monday. I love Posey in this one. Crawford hopefully belts back. If he's not, Ruff is still hitting well. Dubon is actually hitting very, very well. He's 2,600 and 2,000. I want to see what the lineup looks like to how I want to build my stack, but I will have some Giants exposure for sure. I like this one a lot. Getting them back out of the Bay Area into I still think it's a hitter-friendly ballpark. I know the humidor has calmed things down, but we've seen a lot of offense there, especially with the bullpen in play in Arizona. So I want the Giants. I like the Giants tonight. All right, last game on the slate, the Seattle Mariners at the Oakland Athletics. Logan Gilbert, take 3. Cole Irvin, over under 8.5 on this one. This is 2 young pitchers. Gilbert's still trying to figure it out. He's 5,000 on DK, 58 on FanDuel. Like, I want to play him because he's so cheap, but he's looked so bad so far. And then Irvin, 67 on DK, 72 on FanDuel. I don't hate Irvin as an SP2 if you need him. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Irvin, against Seattle. I know they put up 4 runs tonight, but that's their run limit for the week. So they're out of runs already. We know that about Seattle. So I kind of like Cole Irvin here. And I'm not really interested. I mean, one good day for the Mariners is not going to make me interested in the bats there. Oakland, I mean, if you wanted to play Laureano, maybe Seth Brown or Mark Canha, fine, but I'm not really too interested in the bats here either.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I like the idea. of staying with some of the A's bats, but Gilbert's like, I respect him, but I'm concerned at the same time. So I might just watch this one type thing. And Staggers plenty of games to do other things. Speaking of which, Bogman, real quick before we do our home run calls of the night, what's the actually liking on this one?
I'm Yankees against Mats is a decent one. Maybe Tampa Bay against Keller could be a good one. If you want to do a stack of Cleveland against Skubal, I'm not totally against that, but I don't like their bats recently. Outside of that, I mean, like you mentioned, maybe the Dodgers against Greinke, maybe LA against Yang, but this is one of the least stackable big slates that we've had, I feel like.
It's very pitching dominant, or at least enough decent pitchers. You're like, I don't really want to attack things tonight. It's like Toronto, New York. I love the Toronto side to be contrarian, but both are in play. Atlanta, Boston is a game stack. You mentioned Tampa, as I like that one a ton. I'm going to try not to get sucked into Baltimore. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to try not to. It's just like they're so cheap.
Go O's.
Go O's. Dodgers, and then the Gigantes. Big fan of the Gigantes tonight. Speaking of being big fans, we like home runs in these parts. But before we do that, if you can give a rate and review to the podcast on iTunes, 5-star preferably, we'd really appreciate that. And if you'd like to watch the podcast, go to LineStar YouTube channel. Get all the goodies there. Subscribe, like, and share. All right. If you're following LineStar on Twitter at LineStar MLB, they tweet out the home run calls of the day from myself, Bogman, and Ryan Humphreys. They will, whoever you retweets it, 3 lucky fans will be drawn. And if a home run is hit, you can win some free swag. So Bogman, on Tuesday, May 25th, who is your home run call of the day?
Give me Jose Ramirez against Tariq Skubal. That's where I'm going to go. So you don't go to Cleveland for a lot of offense, but I'm gonna try it. Let's see if it pays out for me.
I like that one quite a bit. He's red hot, and I'm gonna go with a guy that's like nuclear hot right now. We're going to Fenway where the weather is beautiful for home runs galore, and I'm going with Austin Riley to keep just staying nuclear hot against Garrett Richards. So give me Austin Riley. You have Jose Ramirez. It's going to be a banger of a Tuesday night, Bogman, but that'll wrap us up. 13 games in the book. Back to a little bit smaller slate on Wednesday, but still lots of good stuff here. But we'll see everybody. This was your Tuesday edition of the On Deck podcast. See you later.
Take it easy, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar app On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to linestarapp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.